What's up, Taiwan? Good evening. I'm Chou with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan has unveiled its roadmap to reach net zero carbon emissions by 2050. It's part of the country's efforts to join the international fight against climate change. But as Bing Wang reports, some environmental experts say the plan isn't aggressive enough.
Fulfilling a pledge made by President Tsai Ing-wen on Earth Day last year, Taiwan has officially released its roadmap to achieve zero carbon emissions by 2050. The main feature of the roadmap is to increase the country's renewable energy supply to at least 60% by 2050. In comparison, South Korea anticipates getting 60 to 70% of its electricity from renewables by 2050, and Japan's goal is 50 to 60%.
I want to assure you that we are doing everything we can to stabilize electricity supply. We also plan to further strengthen our energy infrastructure, including, of course, the grid, while navigating the transition to more sustainable and renewable energy sources.
According to the latest statistics from Taiwan's Bureau of Energy, currently 5.5% of Taiwan's energy comes from renewables, 44.9% from coal, 35.7% from natural gas, and 11.2% from nuclear power. The government plans to spend 900 billion Taiwan dollars or $31.5 billion US dollars by 2030 to diversify its renewable energy sources. And beginning in 2024, taxes will also be levied on companies exceeding 25,000 tons of carbon emissions a year. That tax will be used to develop low emissions technology. John Liu, an environmental expert from National Taiwan University, says the roadmap is necessary because of the country's high carbon emissions.
Taiwan, in terms of the emission of the entire country, we rank around 21. So we emit about 270 million tons per year. And globally, we emit a little bit over 0.5%. But in terms of per capita level, actually Taiwan's contribution is substantial.
But he says while it's an important first step, the roadmap should have more ambitious goals.
As for now, we are looking at only 20%, 30% emission reduction at 2030. And that goal is much lower than most other countries. And if we are really serious about 2050 net zero, we have to be very aggressive right here, right now.
This is the first major plan Taiwan has announced to reach net zero. While environmentalists welcome any efforts to lower Taiwan's carbon emissions, they hope the roadmap will continue to be revised to meet loftier goals. Chris Ma and Bing Wang for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan will have to live with the virus that causes COVID-19 if the infection rate gets above 15%. That's the latest from Health Minister Chen Shizhong, suggesting a shift in the government's messaging about the pandemic. At that rate, Chen says the country will effectively be living with the virus. Even with a recent spike in cases, the rate now sits at less than 0.2%. Taiwan recorded 3,859 new COVID-19 cases on Friday, setting another daily record. New daily cases are expected to break 10,000 by the end of the month. Up to now, Taiwan's approach to the pandemic has mainly focused on containment. New measures being introduced suggest a move towards avoiding disruption to daily life. Taiwan's Railway Authority is trying to head off potential paralysis in the system ahead of a Labor Day rail workers' strike. Only one train driver has signed up to work on that day.
列的列车我们都停开因为派不出司机员那但是我们还是没有放弃沟通。
The workers are protesting a proposal to turn the Taiwan Railways Administration from a government agency into a state-run corporation. The strike is likely to affect more than 350,000 travelers over the weekend. Authorities plan to arrange buses to replace suspended train services. Taiwan is announcing new regulations to improve conditions on fishing boats. This comes after more criticism about the country's treatment of migrant workers. From July, minimum wages for foreign fishermen will be raised by $100 a month. There will be more government inspections of fishing fleets, and vessels will have to be equipped with cameras to monitor working hours. Migrant fishing crews will no longer be permitted to remain at sea for more than 10 months at a time. This move comes after prosecutors in the southern city of Kaohsiung this week charged 9 people with violating human trafficking laws. The case was related to allegations of abuse aboard fishing vessels. Taiwan's leading research center has given scholarships to 12 Ukrainian students. Close to 5 million Ukrainians are believed to have fled the country since Russia began its assault. Our reporter James Chater spoke to 3 of the scholarship recipients who have just arrived in Taiwan. They told him how their families felt about their move here.
My parents were shocked. They just like, what? It's because in one moment I was just with my friends at some village in the west of Ukraine, like doing nothing except of my work. And at the next moment I told them, okay guys, I was accepted to the study program in Taiwan, and I'll be gone for 3 months at least. And like, what? Are you serious? I said, yes, my professor told me to do this. He like really insist on it, so I agree with him. And they're like, okay, good luck.
I wrote to many of my friends for advice, but my feeling told me that I should go to Taiwan because it's first of all, like, political, we are more similar, more like open-spirited and so on.
I wonder if you could talk a little bit more about how, since the invasion has begun, Taiwan has kind of cropped up in conversations. Do you have any kind of specific examples of how Taiwan is kind of increasingly coming up in conversations since the invasion has begun?
So Taiwan appeared in conversation with my friends a few times, especially when we discovered that China has like neutral position in all this situation. We remember that there is Taiwan, and that China and Taiwan have like the same situation. I think that Russia and Ukraine, and it's like exists the risk of invasion here. So like we discussed this topic and thought that maybe action of China really depends on the result of war in between Russia and Ukraine.
China's position is still unclear. Like they want to seem to be neutral, but in fact, it's more like they support Russia, and for sure many people in the government are disappointed about this. And on another hand, at the same time, Taiwan is supporting Ukraine, so I think people will reconsider the relationship with these countries.
To tell the truth, the kilometers, they matter, and the people who they are more interested in something, like from the news perspective, like they're interested in something that is near them. So basically, I think that if for example, like talking about us as news agency, so we can spread the information more, and so it also can be our other mission here.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from here in Taiwan and around the world. Finally today, we'll leave you with images of Brazil's most famous celebration, the Carnival in Rio de Janeiro. The colorful festival is finally back after being cancelled for 2 years due to the COVID-19 pandemic. I've been Joey Chou. Have a great night, and I'll catch you on the flip side.